the show. I'm Sherry Schreiner. A couple things I want to talk about today. I've been sitting here the past couple days just taking down notes from things the Father's been speaking to me about, and so I didn't have a show on Wednesday. It's kind of messed up. They're messing up my computer. So I went back to bed. Yeah, that's how that works. Anyway, wow, just so much stuff going on. All right, I talked about the eclipse and what a satanic ritual that whole thing was. And I think somebody said it was Richie from Boston who came out with a video on how it was actually a whole sun simulator. Because I told you it was some kind of tech. I didn't know what it was that they were using, and that's why you could only see it in a 70-mile path, because that was the range of the tech they were using. And I guess it was some kind of sun simulator. And the whole thing was a sham. The whole thing was a ritual to raise energy levels. They had 250,000 people meditating during the eclipse. It was all about getting energy hyped and all the Christians. And it didn't dawn on me that the whole eclipse thing was never real to begin with back when I started talking about it, because I never even asked the Father about it, and he never said a word to me about it. And so I was just busy. I'm busy doing projects for Dad right now. He has his own timeline, his own timetable going, if that makes any sense, because he doesn't live in linear time. We do, but he has to be busy on certain things right now. And he never said a word to me about the ritual until after. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Because, when I started looking at information that morning and even the day before, I'm like, this is all coded. This is all Illuminati stuff. This isn't a natural eclipse. This is a setup. And it was that night, literally the night before the eclipse. I didn't have time to warn anybody, and I'm like, why didn't anybody else pick this up? This is like Illuminati 101 stuff. And so that's the way it went on that. But you know what? The entire thing is, Dad told me that eclipses are planned before critical junctures of change. And so this is a critical moment in our timeline right now. We're at a critical juncture of change. And I've been telling you guys this whole 8th regime that's coming in, it's change. It's a new regime going into the 8th regime. And I've warned you about North Korea. Everyone thinks there's going to be some third world war with Russia and Israel or whatever. It's not going to be over there. I've told you that their entire script, and these are the two things they're pounding on the script, so they haven't gone anywhere, is to start a race war in America and to blow up the Korean Peninsula. And so I don't expect North Korea to launch missiles over here and hit us, because we give them their missiles. So if we get bombed by North Korea, we would be getting hit by our own missiles. And you're saying that our military can't block us from that? They could go to Israel and block incoming missiles from Baghdad, but they can't block incoming missiles on the West Coast from North Korea? I don't buy any of it. And another thing is because, I remember back in the Obama administration, it was so much more fun for me because I had some really good contacts during that time, and now they're all dead, but we had some good times. And the information I would get was priceless, but it was also stuff that was on the script. And I have known what's on the script for a long time. And I always remember the Christmas Day massacre that's on the script. And this could go any year, folks. It doesn't matter if it's last year or next year or, this year. It's on the script, just like the race war and blowing up the Korean Peninsula. Christmas Day massacre, where they would blow up four American cities and blame it on Russia. And then Russia would blow up some of their cities and blame it on America. So nobody's shooting missiles across the continent, is what I'm saying. North Korea isn't going to launch bombs over here to America. America's going to launch bombs and blow up their own cities and blame it on North Korea. That's how it works, folks. But what they have to do is they have to sell it. They have to sell it. Oh, look, North Korea, they're big and scary. They got missiles that can reach America. They have to make you believe it. So that when they blow up our cities, when our government blows up our cities, we actually believe North Korea did it. See, they have to sell the ability of North Korea to be able to do it. And so that's what you're getting in the fake news from the fake news people. You're getting that nuclear war is actually an option from North Korea. You know, I remember years ago, and I'm going to talk today about a vision I had. I started talking about it Monday, but something interesting came up about that, so I won't talk about it. When I saw 2 missiles being launched, I believe it was from North Dakota. It was right there in the heartland right there. We have missile silo bases. I saw silos opening up and missiles being launched, and they were heading to California. And so at the time, I thought, I never got a name. Sometimes getting specifics and visions can be really hard. I never got a name, but it was my deep impression at the time that it was San Francisco and L.A. It might have been San Francisco and San Diego, but it was definitely definitely California. 2 missiles hitting California. And so this brings me to a vision I started talking about Monday night that I had about Monterey Bay getting a tsunami in California and being pretty much wiped off the map. And I had no idea where Monterey Bay was, and so I had to look for it, call California, talk to somebody who lives out there, because what I saw is that the Cascadia Subduction Zone, I had to learn what all this is because I had no names. It is the Cascadia Subduction Zone that I saw. Something's going to happen. There's going to be an earthquake, and it's going to push the water straight down into California, right at the point of Monterey Bay. Now, I don't know what happens to Oregon or Washington. I wasn't shown that. But this Cascadia Subduction Zone is an earthquake zone from Vancouver Island all the way to the very tip of Northern California. It's not the San Andreas fault I saw blowing up like everybody. His movies always show the San Andreas going and California going down. I didn't see that at all. What I saw was something up north in the water out by Washington, and I learned that area is the Cascadia Subduction Zone. And so that makes sense to me because I kept seeing in the water up north, the North Pacific, above California, because it pushes the water down. And found out that FEMA's having drills about this very same scenario that I just had a vision of that I had no idea they were having a drill about. They're having a drill that a 9.0 earthquake hits the Cascadia Subduction Zone and sends tsunami waves into the West Coast. And so I thought that was interesting because I had no idea that they were even doing that. And it's a current drill that they have going on, but what I think is they're getting prepared because they know what's coming. I think that they do a lot of time travel. I know they use remote viewers, and so they've probably remote viewed this, and if we stay on the timeline we're on, then this event would definitely happen. People don't understand that timelines can change, and that's what we get screwed by all the time, timelines changing. Because we'll be on a great timeline, and all of a sudden, boom, something happens, where we switch timelines, we're off of it, and we go to a different one. And it sucks when you do that, because it's not always for the better for us. But this is definitely, I wouldn't have had a dream about it, and I was asking the Father to show me some destructions that are coming. And I had that dream several nights later, and so Monterey Bay, I kept seeing this peninsula going under the water. I'm not sure Monterey Bay is a peninsula. There's one around there somewhere. Because what I did see was Monterey Bay gets hit by these huge tsunami waves, and the waves come crashing through the bay, destroying that entire bay area. And it goes past. There's a coastal highway there. It's called 101. I could see it on the map, but it goes past 101, and it goes all the way to Route 5. That's how far inland this water is going to go. It's going to go all the way to Route 5, and then it's going to start going south all the way down Route 5. So as you have the waves hitting the west coast in Northern California at the Monterey Bay point, you also have them moving over to Route 5 and going south down Route 5. What happens is when people in California see this happen, because this is up above San Francisco. This is up above north. And the Father told me to warn people that when you see that happen, it's time to get out. It's time to get out of the state. Go to the mountains. Go east. Because it's going to eventually come all the way down and destroy most of California. And so that is your signal to get out. Get out at that point. Get to the mountains. Get to the mountains. Get out of California. There's mountains west of. They've got the ocean on one side and mountains on the other. There's mountains on the east. So head to the mountains because you got to get away from Route 5. I remember years ago, man, it's about 10 years ago, and I had this vision. I was standing on Route 5 in California, and I have never been to California. I've never had any desire to go to California. But I'm standing on Route 5, and I'm in a car, and everybody's getting out of their cars, and they're looking towards the ocean, towards the west. Not that you could see it from Route 5, but in my dream, everybody's looking west because tsunami waves are coming. And these waves are coming all the way to Route 5, and they're starting to hit the highway, and everybody trapped on Route 5 because traffic's not moving is getting drenched by these waves. They're going under. They're drowning. And so it was crazy. And now I have this another vision about the waves coming in at Monterey Bay, the water heading all the way to Route 5 and down Route 5, and that's the signal for everybody in L.A., everybody in other parts of between San Francisco and L.A. to get out. Get out, head to the mountains, because all that water is coming down. Now, what this happens is there's going to be islands produced. So islands are going to be, I always see islands, little islands in California. Instead of one big earthquake like the San Andreas Fault taking down the entire state, I always see islands. And I remember years ago when I had a vision of L.A. going under the water. Well, when I saw L.A. going under the water, it was already at that point beachfront property. And L.A. itself is not on the water. It's more inland. And so at that point, before that or during that time, the land to the west of it has all been destroyed. Right? Yeah, west of it. So that could be the asteroid that hits Indonesia, or it could be this Cascadia subduction zone event, this earthquake. I don't think the Cascadia subduction zone event is going to not be like all in 1 hour. It could take you'll be alerted. Hey, the tsunamis are taking out north of San Francisco. That's your signal to run. I don't know what the timetable is on that. I know when I start talking about stuff they get mad about, they make me cough and hit my chest with ELF waves, and so that they really don't want me talking about this for some reason because they're really aggravating my ability to speak right now, and that's usually them. And they've been doing this almost every show since I started my shows in 2004. But I'm just going to keep going because they can't shut me up. I don't care what they do to me. Looking at this map, and it was crazy because I saw this peninsula, and what is that? Pacific Grove? I just saw this peninsula, and it was full of houses, and these people were trying to get in their cars and get to the mainland, and the waves were just destroying it. When I have visions, I'm usually standing at different focal points. Sometimes I'm directly in the water, which was crazy because at this point I was in a car, and for some reason I was stuck on a sandbar, and all these waves are thrashing around me and going all these places, destroying stuff, and I'm basically in the middle of the ocean in a car, not moving, and I'm safe. I'm not being touched by the water. I have weird visions. They are like real-time reality type stuff, you know. Sometimes I'm in the water. Sometimes I'm not. I like this one. I wasn't. And, but this one I knew I wasn't there. Literally. I was seeing it happen. I don't know how it happened. It's like you're in two places at once. I don't know how that happens. Like bilocation thing. But anyway, I don't have a timeline. I don't have any kind of timeline. I knew it wasn't related to the eclipse. I wasn't expecting anything about the eclipse. I was getting nothing from the Father about the eclipse because it wasn't from him. It was a whole simulated setup facade. The eclipse wasn't real. You know, the Bible talks about how the sun will go dark and stuff at certain events, and so you know, they say, hey, this could be when we leave. Hey, this could be when the day of the Lord starts. Hey, this could be this. But you know what? It wasn't even a real event, so you can throw all that out. It wasn't even real. It wasn't from the Father. Everybody who did see it with your special glasses, obviously those glasses were tuned into this kind of technology for the simulator to work. Because there was no object. I've heard different theories that it was dimensional planet. I could almost believe that one. You know, whatever. It wasn't anything real planet. But we were all had on that one. I mean, I'm just amazed with all the anti-New World Order patriots out there that you guys weren't picking up on the code words, code speak of the eclipse. I wasn't paying attention. I was busy all week. I was on my deck. I'm making orgone pipes and everything else. I got stuff going on. I can't be everywhere 24/7 paying attention to stuff, folks. You should have caught it. Somebody else should have been hitting the pavement on what a fake it was before it even started and alerted everybody. Because it was all code speak. And come on, you guys know code speak. Anyway, what I will warn you about, because I am paying attention, is this Monterey Bay, this Cascadia subduction zone earthquake that's going to hit. Now, as far as Oregon and Washington, I have no idea how they're going to be affected by it. Because Portland, I believe, is closer to the water than L.A. is. I could be wrong. I don't know my West Coast geography. I've never been out that way. I just wasn't shown anything about those two states. I was shown the impact point of California, which would be just north of San Francisco and Monterey Bay. Because it'll go down and destroy. It'll put San Francisco under. Because when you look at maps of California, San Francisco is just right below Monterey Bay, and so San Francisco is going to be hit, and probably that whole Oakland and San Francisco area, San Jose, that whole. See, if you look at San Francisco, it almost looks like a peninsula itself, the way it sits there. Maybe that was the one I was seeing destroyed underwater. San Francisco over to San Jose, down to Salinas, that whole area there, that looks like a peninsula. That could be what I just saw going underwater. And it would go on both sides, the west coast, the water, the coastline, and also down Route 5, and Los Angeles, yeah, see, it's way inland. It's going to go under. I saw the buildings going under. I don't know if it's this point at this earthquake time or when the asteroid hits. Because there's going to be an asteroid that hits Indonesia. What is that, the Indian Ocean over there? And those tsunami waves are going to also pound California. So if people actually survive this subduction zone, the earthquake event, and you stay in California, then you definitely have a death wish, because the You know, it's going to be broken up on islands. I get it, but that is your signal. Your saving grace warning. You were saved this time. Now get the heck out of there. Because when that asteroid hits in Indonesia, the whole west coast is going to be inundated. What's left of California will be shredded by water all the way into Nevada. That's how bad that gets. So even you people in the mountains that had fled to the mountains, don't stay there. Keep going, because those mountains in the east of California, that's going to be overrun by water, because that's going to go all the way into Nevada when the asteroid hits. So, yeah, heads up to the wise. Yeah, where are you going to go? I like the middle part of the country, away from the coastline. So everyone's been telling you for years, get away from the coastline. And now, look, you got the hurricane coming in Texas, people freaking out. Seriously, I don't want to hear the freak outs. I've been telling people since 2008 to get away from the coastlines. That was 9 years ago. And when I started pounding the drums about getting off Japan in 2008, what happened? Fukushima. I was telling people to get out of Florida. What happened? It was the Gulf Coast event, the Gulf of Mexico event, and the father actually delayed that judgment because there was going to be a huge. They were spraying all these chemicals on the water, that core exit stuff, trying to destroy the creatures from hell that were coming up through the cracked ocean floor that George Bush caused, and they want to blame this on oil, but it really wasn't. They were just the scapegoats. But that core exit was going to catch on fire and blow all the way over Florida, and I saw that. It was like, ooh. But yeah, eventually it's going down, because when the comet hits the Atlantic, Florida's going down. You got an asteroid hitting the Indian Ocean, a comet hitting the Atlantic Ocean, and you got Planet X coming in. This is going to cause all these earthquakes, and the Northwest seems to be the gate into America, the portal they always use, if not the Lake Michigan, because we kind of took that one out. I did a lot of work over there to close that portal down, and so they've been coming up to the Northwest, and so it doesn't surprise me that Nibiru will be coming out from the south and then coming up through the Northwest gate and causing those earthquakes out in the Northwest. There are gateways and portals that they have to use to break into our space, our space, aerospace. So it's how things work, folks. I've been trying to teach you. And the Northwest is definitely one of the key entrance points. Also the cube, if they still try to bring that thing in, because we burned it. Yorgon has fried that thing. The Saturn cube thing, and the mimic of it at Mecca that all the Arab inbreeds march around. It's a spaceship, and we burned that years ago. Anyway, the show's over. I'll be back on Monday night. You guys have a great weekend. Get busy getting the Oregon out. Do what the Father leads you to do, and don't forget to support this ministry, because I can't be on the air without your support. Anyway, until next week, everybody. God bless.